Hello, welcome to MS's Great channel. In this video, we are going to see how to use the Microsoft Graph API within the Power Automate and what does that Microsoft Graph API mean. As you can see here in this picture, Microsoft Graph API is a REST API which connects all the ecosystem within the Microsoft platform, especially the M365, the Microsoft 365 platform. It helps to query or post any information within the M365 platform. Using the Microsoft Graph, you can query the users' information, the groups, and the files within the M365, the mail option from the Outlook, the calendar, and all the tasks. Not only that, it can also get information from the notes and other applications too. This gives you a full understanding on how the graph is being laid out. As you can see here, you can interlink different information within the Microsoft 365 where you can go by the conversation or by events or by users. So it is a kind of a rich platform and it is readily available within the Microsoft 365 platform using a REST API. Later I would show you the demo on how to consume this or how to do any actions within the using the Graph API. So in the recent days, you might have heard about the Copilot. Microsoft Copilot uses extensively the Graph API. As you can see, the stack which is built on the Microsoft 365 platform, the Microsoft Graph API exactly lies on top of the Microsoft identity. And once you are authenticated within your M365, you can start using the Microsoft Graph API. And the modern Azure Open API platform or the Azure AI platform leverages the Microsoft Graph API to get all the information about a person or a people or a user within the M365 and able to do an intelligent conversation or intelligent decision based on the information which is there. You can also build or extend your applications within M365 using the Microsoft Graph API, and you can see you can easily build a bot or you can do a workflow automation, and on the left side you can do a timeline portal, conversation, get all the documents, events. So it is tightly integrated with the M365 platform and it is readily available without any additional license as well. So once you sign up with the M365 platform, Microsoft Graph comes along with that. It's just the REST API and it is open to use it by any developers. Let's quickly jump into the Graph Explorer, which is a developer friendly tool which Microsoft has already been published. As you can see here, this is the Graph Explorer tool for a developer friendly portal. To use this, you should first log in with your M365 ID. Here I logged in with my M365 ID. Once you log into the portal, you can start seeing on the left side all the platform which has been connected here. You can see here the SharePoint, user activity, search, everything is being listed here. And to use each applications or sections of these applications, you will have to be authenticated, or first you will have to give a permission or consent to use these applications. Let's try one of the applications to check. So probably I will start checking for Microsoft Outlook calendar. This is an interesting one which you can use it in the Power Automate also. Later I would show you a demo how to use this Graph API within the Power Automate. You can see here there are several APIs which are already been added on the left side. It's not this API alone which is present in Graph API. There are several other APIs also. You can go through the documentation to find out more APIs which are available. And this is one of the API which I just want to demonstrate. All events within my calendar, meaning that it tries to get all the events in my calendar which is logged in here. So this is my login ID. To execute this, first make sure that you have the permission. You can click on the modify permission and you should see you should consent to your calendar details. So in this I have given a full permission which is calendar read write, meaning the Graph Explorer has a full right to modify my calendar and the request body. So this is a get method. It doesn't take any parameter, so I can just execute. So if I just run the query, what it does is it will list down all the calendar event which is in my events in my calendar. So you can also see the details of the calendar. So probably I have 1 or 2 events only, so you would see all the events here. And similarly, there is a post event, meaning that you can add details into the calendar, which you can also use it to get the details. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do a simple Power Automate and show you how to execute one of the REST API, the Graph API, to get more details about email. So let's go to the Power Automate and start. Okay, so this is the new Power Automate, which is triggered when an email is sent to a Power Automate. So in this Power Automate, I'm going to show you how to use the Graph API to get more details about this email. So basically, imagine a use case where you are receiving an email and you want to get more details about the email, and this action within the Power Automate will give you only limited information, but I want to get more information about an email message to make some decisions. So let's start adding the activities. So what I do is I add send HTTP request, and this send HTTP request is available for most of the applications. So if you see here, there is a send an HTTP request for an Outlook, for a team, and for a SharePoint. These are all basically the Graph API request, or I won't say it is directly the Graph API request. It provisions you to execute the Graph API request. So Microsoft has already added the connector, so you can just add the Graph API endpoint and you can start executing all the Graph API. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the Outlook Graph API, send HTTP request, and here is the endpoint for the Graph API. You can see here graph.microsoft.com/version. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my messages / the message ID. So that particular message, more information about that particular message. So I just scroll down and get the message ID. So this Graph API gives more information about this email, and this is a get method, and so there is no parameter as such. It just get the JSON input. So I just save this. I'm going to execute then. So now the Power Automate has been saved. I'm going to send an email to my inbox so that this event is triggered. I'm going to send a calendar invite from my other email to this email, so that it will trigger the Power Automate. So this is the invite which I am creating. So in my invite, you can see I have invited from this .NET to the .dev account, and I'm going to change the invite to have at September 3rd, maybe 7 a.m. or around 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and this is the description. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that send this invitation. So once I send, what happens is that I should get the invitation here in my mailbox. So once I receive the mailbox, then automatically this Power Automate should trigger. Let's go to the Power Automate here. This is the new Power Automate which I created. Let's wait for the email. It takes a while to receive the email. Okay, seems like I received the email. This is the calendar invite which is received, and the Power Automate should have triggered by now. Yeah, it has triggered and succeeded. It has completed. Let's see what it has executed. Okay, so there are only two activities here. One, when an email is triggered, and if you see here, when an email is triggered, you would have only these information. So If you are using your actions within the Power Automate, you will not get any more details other than this from the email actions, the predefined email actions. So why we have added another Power Graph API, meaning it would give you more information about the email, so it helps you to decide. Let's see the details here. You can see the Graph API had given you more details about an email. So especially this email, you can see here, it tells you the meeting request type. It's a new meeting request email, and also it also gives you more detail about meeting message type, which is a meeting request. So for example, if you want to check whether the incoming email is a meeting invite or a normal email, this Graph API Explorer, the API helps you to identify what type of email it is, and it also gives you more detail about the start time, end time, and who is the originator of the meeting. So all the details can be pulled out easily with this information if you are using this as an action. So in a way that this Graph Explorer or the Graph API helps you to get more information, and this is how you use it within the Power Automate. Hope this is really helpful. Subscribe and like.